UFC bantamweight Cole Smith. Appreciate the time, man. How's life right now? You're in the great Northwest. What's going on?
It's great, man. I just had an ice bath, came out of the river, so I'm kind of cold, but yeah, everything's good, man. It's nice over here.
Oh, so you do your ice bath in the river?
Yeah, right in the river, man. It's like 30 seconds from my house. I live in like a really beautiful part of the country. Lots of outdoor shit to do, and there's rivers and lakes and everything, man. So I'm pretty lucky, but yeah, I just have an ice bath in the river, man. It's freezing cold. It works.
So no problems with social distancing for you then?
No, man, no, not with me. I'm in the middle of literally in the middle of nowhere, bro. But yeah, I mean, work. It's been good.
All right. Now, I see that recently you received your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Where does that rank amongst your accomplishments?
It pretty high, but it's something that, you kind of, you're in the sport long enough, it's going to happen no matter what. You know what I mean? So, I mean, when it happened, I was super excited and it was great and everything, but it doesn't change anything. You're only as good as you are. You know what I mean? You don't get any better once you're handed a black belt or anything. So, I was super stoked, but it was something that you're kind of expecting.
All right. Now, I seen of course, you trained and competed in Thailand FC, Full Metal Dojo.
Yeah.
Did you check out the Fight Circus, Full Metal Dojo Fight Circus last weekend?
Of course I did, bro. Of course, I got it all sent to me. I don't know if you know the promoter, John Nutman, but he's wild, man. He's wild, the shit that goes on over there. Yeah, it was a 2-on-1 and girl versus guy and no weight limits, man. That's why Asia's the best, man. I love Asia, which I'm hoping all this dies down soon so I can get back out there.
Yeah, that's something new to a lot of people around the world because of this pandemic. They're looking for entertainment, but you yourself and myself especially, I've been to 2 Full Metal Dojos,
really?
at Insanity, yeah. So I know about it all, you know what I mean? But it's just insane, like what John Nutt has created over there in this like small pocket.
Yeah, man. It's cool because I kind of like, I think I was on the 3rd show or something. Mm-hmm. And that's when MMA was so small in Thailand and in Asia. No, there wasn't many people doing it. And now, man, it's exploding. The Thais are doing it. They're getting really good. They see the money that's in it, right? ONE FC is killing it, So I'm just curious, which events did you go to? Who was the main event?
The main event, I think it was Will Chope versus, he used to fight in the UFC. I forgot the top of my man, I forgot. But Will Chope was the main event, and it was for the title, the sword, the lightweight sword.
Yeah. Oh, they gave a bong too, right, for the last.
Yeah, the last show.
Yeah,
awesome.
That was sick. Will Chope, it's funny you bring up Will Chope, man. He inspired me when I was out there. I didn't know too much about Will Chope, and then one of my teammates, Jeremy Kennedy, he could have gotten to fight him, and he was all excited. And then I kind of figured out who he was, and then I learned that he was fighting like every week. China, Russia, Japan. He's going everywhere. Boxing fights, Muay Thai fights, Lethwei fights, MMA fights. So I was like, well, why don't you do that, bro? Why don't I just try to fight as many times as I could? So I tried to take as many fights as I could. I mean, for me, it was a lot. I had probably 15 or 17 Muay Thai fights in like 8 months, and so yeah, he inspired me to just fight as much as you can. And it's funny because I just saw he posted something about how I think 2 years ago he fought in 4 countries, 4 different guys in 10 days. And I was like, man, that is insane, man.
Yeah, he's an OG of the sport, man. Like, we're gonna maybe see a movie about him eventually someday. Will, man, he's a great guy too, man. If you meet him, have you met him?
I fought in TFC, man, in Thailand Fighting Championship.
His promotion.
Yeah, I fought. It was funny because they told me I was fighting on the beach like Bodog. You know what I mean? They're like, you're gonna come down, you're gonna fight on the beach, and I was so excited. And then there was like a tropical rainstorm or something, so they had to move it into some dumpy Muay Thai gym, and it was not as cool as it was supposed to be real cool. And it's funny because actually on the flight to Thailand, my brother got me the fight as I was going there. So once I landed, my brother's like, hey, get ready, you're fighting, right? And I'm like, oh, sweet, man. And then I talked to him and I was like, man, you're the man. give me one of your TFC shirts," and he just took it off right off his. He's like, "Here, take it." So I have it hanging up in my back room.
Yeah. Well, I think he's stateside right now training during this pandemic. So you know him. He's all over the place. Like
All over. You never know.
Yeah, he's actually the first person years back I interviewed. You know, first
Really?
fighter. So
That's
I've
cool.
known him for a while. Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't get way more love. You know, like
Yeah.
that many people know about him. I think he just had his 120th pro fight or something crazy. So
Fighters know him, man. I think that's what matters you know, at the end. Let's talk about your career. You know, you've been out of competition for about a year now, and beside the pandemic, what has kept you out of the octagon?
I mean, they offered me a fight like 3 months after that, after my last fight, you know, and I just had so many injuries, man, like the most I've ever had in my life. And they all just kind of came at once, you know, like 2 or 3 months, you know, it was just all of them. And so they offered me a fight and I just couldn't do it, man. And then once you say no to the first one, man, you're at the back, you know, and they don't offer you anything good until you get back up there. And so that was kind of tough. And they offered me a few like week notice fights, week and a half, all the way out in Abu Dhabi, and I just couldn't. This point in my career, I just couldn't take that chance. You know what I mean? So we just waited for a good 6-week camp, and then we were offered. So
in some ways, that's smart. I think it all depends on where you are in your career, but taking like these short notice fights, you know, it's sometimes it could be detrimental to, you know, your position with the promotion, right?
I mean, if you weren't punished for it, if you were, got the green light for the next contract and all that stuff, then I think more people would do it. But it seems like if you do, you lose, you lost, you know, and that kind of sucks, right? So it makes things tough.
Smarter, man. You got to be smart. Now, with training wise, what have you been working on mostly with that time?
I've just been focusing a lot on actually getting better as opposed to just training hard and fucking leaving. And you know what I mean? I've been drilling a lot and focusing on my technique and asking a lot of questions, and I've seen a huge growth, you know, in that aspect. So I think really just training smarter and not harder, you know, that really helped.
Is it studying like events, fights, and seeing certain guys get caught in positions and learning from that?
Just studying myself, man, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I needed to work on, you know, the things that I do well that I can still improve on, just things like that, you know, just really asking a lot of questions. I think that really makes a big difference. I don't see enough fighters asking questions. You know, they come to the gym, they train hard, they spar, and then they leave, you know, but no one's asking the little details that really make such a big difference.
Wow. Now with your last fight, you know, it was a split decision. It's a hard pill to swallow, you know what I mean? Because the judges decide who wins and loses, and it was so close. And, you know, a lot of people felt like you won that fight.
Yeah.
Were you able to get over that quickly, or does that still sit in the back of your mind?
It sits in the back of the mind, but not that I lost. It's that my performance was just so shitty. It was so built up in my head, man. I'm fighting in Rogers Arena right down the street in the UFC in my second fight. I was the only Canadian at the time on the card, you know what I mean? And I just wanted to fucking win so bad, you know what I mean? And I didn't enjoy the process. I just, you know, so with this one, I've really slowed things down and just kind of relaxed and enjoyed everything. And it's made a huge difference.
So back then you were just overthinking, just too much.
Totally overthinking, you know. I was early in my career, which I still am, but you know, and just yeah, it was a tough one, you know. I don't think I performed very well, and I still almost won. So it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you know, that experience is going to help you a lot, I feel, moving forward with your career, right? Your next fight, your next opponent, Hunter Azure. What are your thoughts on him?
I mean, I fought Hunter Azure before, basically, you know. Miles is the same. Real good wrestler, real good hands. You know, I fought Mitch Gagnon, a wrestler with good hands. You know, I fought Jamie Siraja out of the local scene. You know, wrestler, real good hands. You know, I fought these guys before, so you know, it's nothing that I haven't seen before. He's got good hands. He's got good wrestling, and you know, it is what it is.
The pandemic is going on, training camp wise. Any major adjustments you've made?
Like I said, it's been great, man, because, you know, usually I have to travel like an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes, 45 minutes. Like my closest trip is 45 minutes away, you know. But because of this, I've had a lot of the guys come up to my town to train with me, and it's been a lot easier on me. I haven't had to drive around so much, and you know, so it's been great, man. I've been able to do a lot of biking, a lot of swimming, a lot of running, and that's just helped like so much with my cardio and everything. So to be honest, it's been great. I've loved it. I've loved every minute of it. We haven't had it so bad like in the States where, you know, people really need to have things shut down, and you know, the rules are a lot tighter over there. It's a little bit more lenient over here, so it's been good.
That's good to hear. Now, with some of the Canadians, they've been having visa issues. How has that process been for you?
My manager's been just taking care of everything, man. He's been fantastic. Iridium is they're so good to work with, man. They're on top of everything. Jason House is fantastic, and they've taken care of everything. So I haven't even had to do any of that.
That's good, man. That's good. That's good,
Yeah.
because some guys, I think they don't think about that, and they don't have a manager, and they're taking care of everything themselves. And next thing you know, they have to get pulled. So there's no problem with you.
Yeah, if you don't have a manager, it's pretty tough, you know. I mean, for a while I was like, I don't need a manager. I'm just gonna beat people up, and they'll notice me. But it doesn't work like that, man. I signed with Iridium, and 2 or 3 months later, I was in the UFC. So it is, you know, it is what it is. They're fantastic. They've done a great job.
With the last fight, you know, you said you went in there overthinking and you didn't perform very well. And I think going into this one, you learn from that. And then now you don't have the pressure of having the undefeated label. Do you feel that way? Like you don't have that pressure?
I mean, I didn't really feel any pressure anyways, because bro, let's face it, you're going to lose. You know, you're fighting in the UFC, man. These guys are too good. There's too many ways to lose. One guy is undefeated right now, and he's got a tough fight ahead of him, you know? So the whole undefeated thing is it's only cool until, you know, you lose, and, you know, you get to the top guys, and it's going to happen. There's too many guys. This isn't boxing. You know, you don't fight 40 scrubs and then you start fighting the big guys, you know. The UFC, you know, my first fight, buddy, was 12-4, second fight 10-0, third fight 8-1. You know, there's no easy matches here. So, you know, you're going to lose. So the undefeated thing means nothing.
All right. Now, how do you envision the fight playing out? How do you envision taking out Hunter?
That's just such a crazy question, because, you know, there's just so many ways. You know, you could say you're going to head kick the guy and then you win by ankle lock, or you say you're going to sub him and, you know, you cut him, or there's so many different ways. There's so many variables. But I just feel like I'm taller, I'm longer, I can use my range, and I can catch him with some good knees and teeps and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just see the fight going my way, man.
All right. Now, what's the plans for the rest of the year? Do you want to go to Fight Island, because it seems like they're going in October and December, or do you want to continue just fighting in Vegas? Is that just more comfortable for you?
I would love to go to Fight Island just for the experience, just to say I did, man. Only a handful of people get to do that. But being so early in the cards, you know, I'm on the prelims and everything, and I don't really want to fight at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? At 4 a.m. And coming from Canada, you know, you got to go from here to Vegas and do all that, and then from Vegas to there. It is pretty tough, you know. So that I'll just kind of see how everything works out. And you know, if I get a good fight and I get ample time and everything, sure, man, let's do it. Just to say I did it, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. I think it all depends on the opponent.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, man, you're back in action September 5th, UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. Thank you, Cole, for the time. And yeah, man, it was fun in the beginning when we were talking about Asia and Thailand. And hopefully next time we'll get more deep into that and how that affected your career and your life.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'd love to chat with you again, man. I had a good time.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Postfight for all your weekly martial arts news.